Hi, everyone. This is another episode of Edge of Ed. We're talking with Raji Sundar, and Ron Austin is with me today as well. And we're going to be talking about bioethics, diversity, and student engagement. Raji, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do at Bellevue College and your interests?
Hi, Bruce. Hi, Ron. My name is Raji Sundar, and I've been with Bellevue College since 2009. I teach classes from survey level to research based courses. And since I took the educational equity course offered by the Faculty Commons, I've been interested in incorporating some of inclusion and biodiversity lessons in my curriculum. And as a part of the curriculum, I am expected to explore other learning management systems, just like the Canvas that we use at Bellevue College. So I had the opportunity to choose a learning module that I could work on, and I narrowed down the topic that I wanted to work on: biology and Black history. And when I was looking for platforms to build off my lessons, I came across Articulate Rise.
So we use a number of tools in e-learning, as you know, and one of them that we use a little bit is Articulate Storyline, and Rise, and you'd been using Rise, and so I was really excited to see that being used because I was like, oh, this is great, right? And so it's being used, and what you created looks wonderful, and so I just wanted to have an opportunity to show that up, to show that off, and so. Is there an opportunity that we could share the screen and we can look and see what you've created?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's take a look at the diversity page. So, Raji, we're looking at your lack of diversity in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics page in Articulate Rise. And could you first of all explain what the quote is all about?
Bellevue College is a very diverse community. Our students are diverse, our faculty are diverse, all our administrators, we have a diverse population. But diversity is not a single form, it comes in so many different ways. And here I've put together all the different ways by which, not I obviously took this from a different source, but here I've just clustered together all the different ways by which we can identify a diverse population. So it can include age, gender, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, culture, religion, and so on. So individuals do not represent diversity. Diverse individuals in a population represents diversity. So that's my idea here, and I wanted to show my students that we are a diverse population, and it is important to encourage and accept the diverse population that we are in.
This is great. So if we go down to the second link there, the influential Black biologists, and then now we're at the page here where it's more interactive. And so I think we're sharing Bruce's screen here. And so I was just curious. This is great, and this is one of the awesome things that I love about this software is how easy it is to bring this material in. So why did you choose this approach here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, at the end of the course, when I ask my students to identify or name a few scientists, they will often mention names like James Watson and Charles Darwin and people like that. But very few times, or very rarely, they come up with names that are mentioned on this page. But these individuals have contributed to science, especially biology, and not much is known about them. And I wanted students, the underrepresented minority students in my class, to know that they have representation there. And oftentimes underrepresented minority students, they are very successful in STEM classes because of lack of representation, because they don't have many role models. And by showing that there are role models from past and from present, who they can look up to, I'm hoping that they will be more engaged in the lesson, and there will be more retention rate among the underrepresented minority students.
I noticed you also, I also noticed you have, Raji, scientists who are Black, who are both traditional from 19th and early 20 in the 20th centuries, and now you have cards and information about more contemporary Black scientists.
Absolutely. So that's the idea, Bruce, to show that we've always had people, but unfortunately, many textbooks and the social media also does not promote these scientists and their contributions to science. So this is just my small way of showing that they have representation, they have people that they can look up to, and I'm hoping that it will have an impact in the retention of my underrepresented minority students.
I wanted to take a look at one last page here, Raji, which was you're highlighting in video certain important aspects of how Black Americans have been involved with the biological sciences. So I'm going to share this next screen here. So this is the Black History and Medical Research page, and what's happening here?
So the reason why I've included these videos, I want to share these stories with my students, but because of my time constraints, I'm not able to share these stories. By creating this standalone module, I just share the website with my students, and my students are able to watch these stories and relate to them. So there are two reasons for this. One is my underrepresented minority students, they get validation for their fears. So we know that the Black population, they are fearful about the medical research and the medical care. There is a very big distrust about the medical research and the medical care that they receive. Most of my students, they take my courses in the hopes of getting into the workforce in the healthcare field. So knowing about this or being aware of these stories will help them in the future. So I don't have to teach them about it. These are videos that are there, and they just have to watch and comprehend the material. So it helps my underrepresented minority students and my other students too, because my other students are becoming aware about the difficulties and the challenges that the Black population have faced in the previous years. So they can, when they get into the workforce and when they become healthcare workers, they can treat the individuals, Black individuals, with empathy and knowledge, and just not disregard their feelings. So because they are now aware of it. And it also helps with active learning when students are, instead of just presenting it as a text, an image, when students are actually able to see it and interact with the video, they are able to, they are more active in the learning process. They are not just passively listening the information that is presented in the video. So at the end of the page, I have a couple of reflection questions that they will be able to answer only if they're paying attention to the content on the video.
So we're in COVID time that as we're recording this, so most of our classes are online. Is your course completely online as well right now?
Yes, Ron. So I have been teaching online for the last year since we closed our college for the pandemic. But I do meet with my students synchronously twice a week. Mm-hmm. And the idea here is I have embedded, I've included the link in the course, and I share it with my students that they can go through the material presented in the lesson at their own time. Mm-hmm. And then we have a class discussion about it when we meet synchronously. And the interactive aspect of click and learn engages them in active learning process. They are not just passively getting the information from me. They have to do the work to process the information. And during class, we talk about it. And I try to draw connections between what they learned from the video and the lesson to what we are learning.
So this is wonderful. So really, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like having a flipped classroom but an online version of a flipped classroom, right?
Absolutely.
So that's pretty
Absolutely.
rich. That's awesome. So
So I have a question, Raji. Where are you taking this now? Are you going to continue using Articulate, Rise, or are you going to be using other kinds of tools moving forward?
So one of the advantages of me doing my second master's is I'm forced to explore all these technology tools that are available there. So if I had not done my master's, I would not be forced to doing that, and I would just be presenting my material just on PowerPoint and Word and whatever tool was available on Canvas. But now, because of this program, I'm learning about other technology tools too, where I've created lessons and I've given it to my students. For example, I created an infographic about COVID vaccines. So there is a lot of distrust about COVID vaccine too. And at this point, we need more people to be vaccinated. Even my own students, they are skeptical about vaccines and their side effects. So by presenting the material as an infographic and sharing it to them, there is some novelty to it, and students are more interested to figure out what I have to share.
well, this is great. I have one more question, and I'm curious about how other faculty can access this program and how they can learn it. How did you learn?
So Articulate Rise, as I was honestly, I was just browsing through the other LMS. Now our go-to has become the search engines. So I also looked at the other LMSs that were available, and I wanted a free version. I didn't want to pay money for it. And I did this a couple of months back, and they were offering a 60-day trial for Articulate Rise. And I've heard really good reviews. My instructor suggested Articulate Rise and Storyline and other technology tools like that. And so I got it for a 60-day free trial. I signed up for a 60-day free trial, but now I think they offer a 30-day free trial. But I would still encourage faculty to go and check it out. So you just need your email. You don't need to give your credit card or anything. Create a sign, create an account with Articulate, and explore and see how you can customize your lessons on Articulate. And one more thing that I learned from you, Ron, thanks to you, is that you can download it and then integrate it with Canvas. You can embed it in Canvas. So students will not have to go to an external site, and they can access this module that you create on Articulate Rise directly from Canvas. So even after the trial period ends, you can still have access to the lesson that you created, but you can't edit it. So for editing, they're going to charge money. But with the free trial, you can create lessons.
So I just wanted to say we will have the links to Articulate Rise and one or two related links on this page. You can see it below the video. And I wanted to thank you, Raji, for coming in and talking with us today. Anything else you wanted to add, Rod?
It's a great tool because you can integrate it, as you mentioned, into Canvas, and then you can use it with SCORM, and you can actually have people using Articulate Rise and then have it hook up to your gradebook. And so that's a really cool thing. And then there might be funding available with your department that could help supplement the cost of using this tool.
Thank you, Raji, for coming in. This is another episode of Edge of Ed with Ron and Bruce, and we're going to be bringing another interesting guest like Raji, and hopefully, Raji, we can have you back at some point as well.
For sure. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks for joining us.